tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome back, Sleepy Hollow fans, to the AFTERBUZZ TV Sleepy Hollow After Show. We're in for a horror-filled treat with the Bride of Frankenstein. No, the episode
That was
actually...
Steven, not me.
Jacuqe Borowski, what were you doing, Jackie?
Don't shy away from it, Jackie.
It's
Guys,
okay, you have a beautiful voice.
thank you so much for
Steven
joining
sings
us.
soprano.
Like that of a soprano
All right,
25-year-old
let me get through the
man.
intro, then you can screw around. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Sleepy Hollow After Show. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Follow me throughout the week, throughout the show, at that Zach Wilson, Twitter, Instagram, all the places. Now let me introduce my fantastic panel. Starting at the other end, Stephen Lemieux.
Hey guys, good to be back.
And Jacuqe Borowski.
Jacuqe Borowski. You can find me on my website, 123jacuqe.com.
And we have a new face joining us this week. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Monis Rose, Sleepy Hollow fan extraordinaire. I was kindly invited by this amazing lady, these two amazing gentlemen, and I just want to say thank you very much. What's going on?
Monis actually had never seen Sleepy Hollow before, and in the past week, binge-watched all of it.
That's right, my mind is numb.
Wait, what's your favorite season? I'm curious. From
My favorite season is this one. Oh yeah,
okay.
that's right.
All right.
Season 3, because
If you say 2, we might have to respectfully ask you to leave the
I'm
channel.
optimistic because I want season 4, so that's
There you
why
go.
it's season 3.
There we go.
That's right.
All right.
So, one question before we get into everything, Zach, and you're going to hate me for this, but
Oh.
why doesn't the hidden one just blow up ICHABOD and Abbey?
Why doesn't the hidden one do a lot of things?
Right.
Why doesn't he do a lot
If
of
he
things?
can
Yeah.
hit the pool of water and blow anyone up, like, why doesn't he just do that?
Okay. Here's my response to that. The hidden one probably can't do it because, in theory, the Kindred is one of his lieutenants, so maybe he
People,
has
yeah.
a certain connection to them that he doesn't have to the witnesses.
So your best lieutenant is somebody that humans created and you weren't even around for, but he's your best lieutenant.
Apparently. Well, okay, let's get into
I now know why he was
Hashtag-
sent away for military.
Hashtag hidden one logic.
I
Yeah.
really liked how, though, the pool just bubbles, at the end, but we had to wait until the end for it to bubble.
Sponsored by Whirlpool.
We have to wait for a lot of things for the
Yeah,
hidden one to do.
let's get into the Kindred, or as we prefer to call him, Franklinstein.
Frankenstein. That's fantastic.
The return
So we
of
have the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes.
I love that you said that.
that's all I can think of while we're watching
It's
this.
great.
Because she even looks
She
like
does.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
After this episode, I had the exact same thoughts as ICHABOD, where it's just like, that was odd.
Yeah.
Like, that was literally what I thought
Yeah.
at the end of this episode.
Yep.
And then they killed Frankenstein and Frankenstein's bride, and
Okay.
I was angry.
Yeah, okay,
Can we talk
I'm
about...
sorry, Zach. I'm
Can
just
we
so
talk
angry.
about how angry we are that they killed Frankenstein?
Yeah.
And not just because we... Monis, we are
Named him.
huge Frankenstein characters.
Like, we love him.
We just love him.
Yeah.
We love him.
We've shipped him with so many characters, and literally, within one episode, they actually introduce a character, give him a love interest, make him the most shippable character on this show, and then give him that love. And this makes me think that if ICHABOD and Abbie ever get together, they're just going to blow them up in the same episode.
He was the most proactive character of this episode. He was actually doing stuff.
Yeah, it was like the
Frankenstein?
opposite of Katrina.
murdering people.
He went out,
Doing stuff.
got what he wanted, which
More
was
than
Zoe,
Katrina ever did.
and then gave up Zoe for he married up. He's like, Zoe, bye. I got
Oh my
Bride
this-
of Frankenstein.
All right,
This was an I
so
love you episode. It was a love
here's
episode.
the
This was a
thing, is
Valentine's Day
They
episode.
brought back it's the problem is that it continues a Sleepy Hollow trend that they've had over the years, where they've introduced these amazing characters or concepts or just ideas that they just erase within the same episode that they introduced them.
Preach,
It reminds me
preach.
of Thomas Jefferson's library that they just introduce and blow up within 40 minutes. They introduced Joe originally and just it got rid of him. They eventually smartened up and brought him back, which is great.
They brought Zoe
But-
back, which I'm so happy for.
Well, I'm
'cause
glad they at least didn't
Yeah.
because I don't think
I
we
kinda
got a
forgot.
chance to talk about it last week. But I remember noticing I'm like, what happened to Zoe?
What happened to the immigration thing that was going on? Also, Ren Einsburn in the chat says the hidden one tried, but he couldn't pull it off.
Boo!
So here's what I want to say about aside from the fact that I wanted to see Frankenstein's first date, and aside from the fact that
They were going to Purgatory Prom together.
I know.
Yes.
And aside
Yes.
from the fact that I just love Frankenstein as a character, I also, and I agree wholeheartedly with everything Zach said, but I also think it's this show, what I'm finding that this season is lacking that the first season had was the first season had all these different like loose ends, like these nooks and crannies that we got excited about trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And this season, because it keeps, I mean, it's a little bit serialized, but it's still falling into some Monster of the Week things that I thought Pandora's box was going to fix. I thought that having this box and having all these monsters in this box, or having all the monsters come in for MonsterCon, I thought this was going to fix the serialized problem. I thought, here we are, we're drawing all these monsters together for a bigger purpose, and then at the end of the episode, you kill one of your biggest monsters that's tied to the main character, the main bad guy, the Headless Horseman. For what? It's like, why did you close that plot line? Why would you not leave that plot line open?
I have to disagree with you here, because I never thought that Pandora's box would get rid of the Monster of the Week. If anything, it just opens the box for Monster of the Week even more so.
But it gives you an opportunity to tie those. If you're going to do episodic TV with those Monsters of the Week, it gives you the opportunity to tie it all together in a way that slowly builds an overarching story. And when they blew it up, they sort of removed themselves from that. Or like, if they're doing it, they're not doing a good job with like tying it all together. And that's sort of what's frustrating. But before we get into like all of like the problems, let's go back to the top, because I want to. What do you guys think of the Kindred's intro at the top of this episode, where he like saves a woman from being raped and then murders her in the next beat?
Do they cancel each other out? Like in the karmic scale of like good to bad, is he like still neutral, or is he kind of more dark side?
No, I think it's dark side, because like his save has no effect when he murders her.
Well, it was a great start into an end. You know, he actually kills true love at the beginning, and then his own true love is killed at the end.
He did not kill true love. What happened was...
He straight up murdered true love.
No,
you
what
have
true love? There was a rapist.
Yeah, that made me really mad.
Yeah,
it made me really mad.
You're right. That's not true love.
Right.
No.
Well,
Sorry,
guys,
we overspoke. We weren't thinking.
In the Kindred Spirits.
No. Avoid the subject. Abandon ship.
Abandon ship.
Forward.
Abandon ship.
Moving on,
No,
Jackie.
it made me so mad. Like, that intro made me so mad because Sleepy Hollow has been straying away this season from some of the cliches that fans hate. And here you have the old cliche where you have like guy and girl in the car, and of course, instead of them being in love, the guy is a rapist, because you're looking at it and you're like, this is a creepy scene. Of course it has to go creepy because we're just being formulaic right now. Yeah. And so they have the formulaic ending where the guy turns out to be a rapist, and then he comes and saves the girl, and then it's like, I wanted to punch this girl in the face, because instead of being like, my rapist is being murdered, I should probably run, which any logical person would think, she's like, hey, excuse me, I want to talk to you, murderer. This is fabulous. Let's have a conversation.
Oh my god, you stabbed him to death. Oh my god, thank you.
You effing idiot. You should have just turned and ran like any normal ass person would if they noticed that someone was being murdered.
The many inactive characters in this episode.
I'm sorry, but
I mean, the thing is, like, what I will say about the opening that was good was that I like the way that it plotted out with like the return of a character that we recognize, where he comes in and saves the day. The specifics maybe could have been tweaked, but the idea of coming in and saving the day, and we're like, oh, he's still good. He saved us, and then he turns. I'm intrigued. I'm in. Like, I'm invested again.
I understand that, but I also understand the fact that okay, let's say somebody is pointing a gun at me and saying, I'm going to kill you in the next 5 seconds, and then somebody walks by that I can't really see very well and stabs him over and over again with a halberd. I'm probably not going to grab the arm of the guy stabbing and be like,
Right?
thank you so much! Oh my
You're just gonna run. You're
No.
gonna be like, here's a murderer killing a rapist. I shall exit.
I would be
stage
like,
left.
holy crap, what the hell is going on? I'm out.
Right?
Like, first of all, I don't know why this guy has a gun on me. Why does that man have a halberd, and why is he stabbing him more than once?
Exactly. It makes me mad because we have a lot of characters in Sleepy Hollow who do a lot of reasonable thinking. We have people like Abbie and Jenny and Crane who are all these smart, like, reasonable thinking characters, and then you have this scene where you're like, this is a smart person's show. Run! Run!
You need to get out. It was like Scary Movie where, like, she
Yes,
sees the
it was
banana and the
totally
gun and the
Scary
knife and she
Movie.
takes the banana instead.
Totally Scary Movie.
But I gotta say, nothing tainted, like, the scene, as dumb as that, like, was for me, nothing tainted the return of Frankenstein, because I was so excited that freaking Frankenstein
That was the thing,
was
is
back.
I was willing to forgive like any problems I had with the opening, just like because he's back, and I was like, I'm intrigued at why he's back and all that, and so we got into it. What did you guys think of the fact that he's talking now?
You follow, she does. I mean, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, they started to set up these little things where, like, okay, they go back and they figure out with Franklin's notes that he's becoming more human, thanks to whatever, like the nature of the kindred. What do you guys think of that whole?
But you never see really progression with the kindred. You never see that. I mean, yeah, he talks a little bit, but he never actually. And then by the end, he's actually holding, his
Lover's hand.
his hand. But
I think that's what you said was part of the reason that, like, I was angry in the end, because here you have opened this door where you're like, now we've given this character some humanity to make him even more interesting, and then you just kill him off. I was like, what the F?
It's not even that they killed him off. What I'm more disappointed is that they killed off Headless's head.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
because if the hidden one was like, you son of a bitch, or whatever, and then appeared next to them, blew her up, and then grabbed the head, pulled it off, and then blew the body up, I'd be like, okay, keep the head. The head is an important plot piece that you can pull out of the pocket at any time, and you just blew the freaking thing up, and it's supposed to be indestructible, right? Like, they couldn't destroy it?
You know what the worst part is? They said, if you listened at one part of the episode, they said they called the kindred the last remnant of the Pillar
Yes.
of Death. That means that the Headless Horseman is truly gone as far as the show is concerned. They've gotten rid of the Headless Horseman.
You know what?
I'm throwing my notebook.
What sucks, though, too, is because I had such high hopes that he was becoming more of the Headless Horseman, because he was riding the horse. He was doing, like, the snap. I was like, that is so Headless Horseman.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was so Abraham.
I was expecting Abraham. I was expecting Neil Jackson's face to, like, grow on the kindred,
Yeah.
and then, like, Abraham Van Brunt just, like, rides in and is, like, pissed off.
It could have been like they could have kissed, and then for a second you saw, like, the real faces of who they were, like, in ghost form, before they walked off. Like a very I forgot the name of the movie, but yeah, just a cool moment where you see who they actually are. Because at least then we would know it's Abraham's head. We would get an introduction to mystery character, whoever the bride of Frankenstein is. I don't know. I thought that would have been pretty cool. Cheesy, but cool.
That would have brought us in more. It would have actually caused more emotion, maybe a little more conflict to actually, let us care more for the character.
Plus,
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Pandora seeing what Frankenstein did for his bride.
Yeah.
Because that would have
Yeah.
gone development on her character, because her whole thing is between love and power, and his whole thing was using power to get love, and now she's dealing with this whole internal struggle as she needs power to rule better. She even offers it to him. He's like, if I had more power, we could rule together. And he's like, I'm going to change the subject.
She's
like,
in-
if she had seen...
That plotline annoys me too.
Yeah,
Because she's in a
Hold on, I
like,
need my notepad back. I actually have a lot of written on it.
yeah, she's in like a classic abusive relationship where it's like she actually, if she just wasn't with the hidden one, she would shine on her own, because we know that she has shown on her own. So she's doing this timid, like, oh well, if I could share my power, you could give me some of my power back. So one of our fans commented on the show being like, oh, she gave up her power for love because she wanted to do that. I don't think she actually really wanted to do that. I think she's just doing it because she's being abused by this really
here's the
powerful
most
guy.
messed up part is that the hidden one like went off on how useless love is.
Right?
Like, to his girlfriend who sacrificed everything for him. They are constantly saying to each other, "My love, I do," and he's just like, "Love is terrible.
It's the worst.
But he
The
has such a
showrunner,
beautiful voice.
the showrunner apparently said
Yeah.
that they're not bringing Headless back at all.
Well,
So he said that on a panel.
I had heard that, but I don't trust showrunners anymore because like the smart ones lie to us.
And Eric Olin's in the chat. He watches every week, tweets at us. Eric, you said that Katrina as the Kindress. Katrina can't be the Kindress because the Kindress was made in the past.
Yeah.
And Katrina's in the present. Just
The Kindress was a body that had been left in that little hidey hole wall in the opera
Right.
house.
imagine if the Kindress was made from freaking Betsy Ross. Like that would have been another storyline. It's the head of Betsy Ross. Like what?
I mean, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would have bought that. But the point is, they to create these interesting characters and like these two people, these two monsters running around out there. What do they want? What are they going to do next? And literally
I
just
like the
blow
idea
it up.
of like a Sid and Nancy kind of romantic bad guys.
Ooh,
I
Sex
liked
Pistols,
that.
like
Yeah,
that, yeah.
I like that kind of idea, and it's like they just got rid of it.
Yeah,
And I
I-
was like,
I think it's just like when you like choices lead to different outcomes. You can play Mass Effect or video games or whatever, and they have a whole tree that shows like if you make this choice, you go over here, but this is still going on. You can intersect. Like with writers, when I'm watching the show, I'm like, okay, so they have many branches that go off, and Frankenstein was a branch that went off and never connected. So we were always having it in our mind that this could be a possibility. It played to us more. We had more options to choose from with where the show could go. And now they bring him back, and we're excited because that branch that was such a small thing in this first season came back. But I was excited when they were walking off because I'm like, okay, they're becoming human. They're
Yeah.
characters that have huge importance in this show, just based on the fact that she is made of parts of people from the past that you could bring back at any time, and he is the Headless Horseman's head and a character that was created or brought to life by ICHABOD and Abbie, so there is a connection there.
Yeah.
And they're gone now, just like that. Like it just was such kind of a disappointment that the writers would make that decision.
Well, to continue your branch theory, they let this amazing branch grow that had a lot of potential.
No
that
pun
could have been
intended for the
amazing,
first half of the season.
But
pun very intended.
but they cut off the branch before it could bear fruit.
Yeah.
And like it could have given us such amazing storylines down the road and continued to do that if you let this character come back and do different things. But to then blow it up with a snap of the hidden one's fingers just seems like a waste.
No, he played Splish Splash. He was taking a bath.
Whatever he did.
And just like, yeah, a lot of things this episode, a lot of things, especially even like last season, we shall not talk about it, but yeah, things just happen. Like
Yeah,
they just
you're right.
happen without any reason.
It seems very
Or any-
haphazard. Like that ending to me was very haphazard.
Yes.
And here we were all. It's like you clearly know this was a fan favorite because you named the episode after the Kindred and you built it up so much in the previews that why would you do that if you knew it was a fan favorite? Like why?
Probably it's just because they're sick of us saying bad things.
But there have been
They were
plenty-
probably like, they like the Kindred. Let's strike them where it hurts the most.
Right?
The Kindred.
No.
You've made us angry.
I
There have
really
been-
love Holly.
Well, I'm glad that you
Would
said
that
that,
work?
Zach. I'd
Oh,
like
no.
to come back for a second and
There have
talk to
been
you
plenty
sometime.
of
I mean,
shows,
if we bring him
though-
back, they'll blow him up, right?
There have been plenty of shows though that bring back bad guys that they never intended to be like main characters just
Yeah.
because the fans love them.
Yeah, exactly. But to then bring them back and get rid of them,
Right?
just as
Why
fast.
would you do that, Sleepy Hollow? Why would you do that?
It before we just like get on a tangent of like yelling the whole.
We want more Kindred.
it was a frustrating choice, but it was cool to see him come back. I thought the idea of him coming back and being evil for like but he's becoming human and he like wants like love and all this. I thought that was a very interesting choice.
And the guilt of having Crane and Abbie know that they created this monster that's now killing people.
Yeah, which
mean-
I want to talk about that for a second. It's because at the end, like they solve the momentary problem of him killing a lot of couples running around.
Right.
But then they let these two like very powerful monsters just sort of walk away.
Hey, Zach, they got love.
They do.
And you know what? We had two powerful monsters in Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, and together they have love.
That's true.
And they have caused less damage because of it.
Don't compare Kim Ye to the Kindred family.
I mean, they're just as scary to look at, but...
Exactly. I do want to say, looking from a devil's advocate point of view, we do learn something more about the Hidden One in that he does not tolerate anything of digression from his plan. So he's kind of like King Joffrey in that his underlings are his toys. He'll do whatever he pleases with. He has a fit, he kills them, he doesn't care. So I think that'll be something that Pandora realizes later on as well.
Yeah.
Where she sees him more and more treating the things that he should treat as subordinates as just things to be used.
And I think your previous prediction is just becoming more and more true. Like, she's gonna wind up betraying him because
Yes.
he's being such a dick.
I mean, if that doesn't happen, I will be very angry.
But the problem is, like, now we see it coming. We're seeing it coming
Right.
from a mile away. So, like, I hope there's more to it than just like she turns on him.
Right.
I hope that it's not she turns on him and helps the witnesses. I think it's she turns on him and becomes the big bad.
Yeah.
That's what I want to
Abbie
see.
and
That
Ichabod.
would be way better.
Yeah.
But then, like, why did the Hidden One come back anyway?
Because that actor is pretty cool and he's got a cool voice. And
Yeah,
likes
he
to do
is.
See,
stuff.
but that-
He also has potential to be so scary because
I
he's
know,
a good
but
actor.
it's not fair, writers, to rely on somebody who just looks cool and talks cool. You have to give the actor something to work with, and they're
Yeah.
not giving this actor anything to work with. Like, basically, he's just like a shirtless guy who's talking cool right now.
Yeah,
I'm still
that's
willing to see
no
where
movement,
it goes.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think everyone should hit the thumbs up right now.
Yeah. hit
I
that
mean, those
up.
thumbs up are real important.
They're really important. You know what else is important, Zach?
iTunes?
How did you know?
I have psychic abilities
my God.
that I got from Pandora's box.
Guys, why does it sound dirty no matter how many ways you say it?
She wants her box back.
Give
The
her
Hidden
her
One has
box
taken
back.
her box.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
He
She-
destroyed her box.
many
Pandora
times? How
misses
many
her
times?
box.
The Hidden One is not sweet at all to Pandora's box. He blows it up. All right, guys.
Whoa.
He
Our
needs to be
latest-
more sensitive with it.
Our latest
Yeah.
reviewer, which is kind of like
Gentle.
part of our panel at
Gentle
this
with
point.
the box.
Do you think she likes it gentle?
Let's stop there. Lana Weiss always comments every week on iTunes. You should be like Lana Weiss. She says, or he says, because this is Thriller, because this is Thriller at night. The Kindred couldn't stop the gods' tantrum strike. Oh my god. I liked the allusions to the Frankenstein's monster novel, not movie, storyline with Frankenstein's own progression. His romance ending felt a little fanficky to me, but I enjoyed it and wish the Frankensteins had survived. By the way, how can the flop-gotten god murder the Kindreds
Sure.
by just slapping a puzzle, but can't stop the witnesses via the same?
Yeah.
And where
There you
did
go.
Franklin get the immortal part to create the Kindreds with? Anyway, I'm liking Pandora's obvious journey to betraying her master, I mean husband.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you for writing.
That was pretty good.
I also want to thank, specifically in the chat, like, thank you everyone for joining us live. There's like almost
Thank you.
60 of you. It's awesome. But especially I want to thank Anastasia Shear, who is joining us at like 4:30 in the morning from Belarus. She said,
Belarus!
"Awesome.
Pretty cool.
You are a cool person in my book."
You're as cool as Franklin.
Someone's shipping Panda Abbey.
Dude, I'd ship Panda Abbey. That'd be a show that I'd
Yeah,
watch,
I'd
whether
watch
the
that show,
storyline
yeah.
was terrible or not.
No, but it's like I could see Pandora like having a thing for Abby, not
Yeah.
necessarily the other way,
Yeah, I
but
could see
like
that
I
for
could see
sure.
Pandora like falling in love with Abby.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
I ship it.
I do see Pandora coming out of this as liking women. I see that.
Okay, so that aside, get your minds out of there. Ichabod and Abbie. Now
We're
that he's
clearly
Are you asking-
setting this up
let's
for
clearly
Amy.
discuss this now because all the fans hate you and Isaac and they only like Jackie because apparently we don't give Abbie the credit she deserves because Nicole Beharie is an amazing actress and she deserves all the credit in the world. She's
Nicole
a great
Beharie
actress.
is
She
amazing,
is.
and
She
she does
is.
deserve all the
I
credit. I just don't like that, like Abby and Ichabod together.
So let's just tell Zach to shut up for now.
all right.
From
You guys have
the
the floor.
people on YouTube, Zach, shut up for a moment. They're obviously setting Ichabod and
Yes.
Abbie up together because Ichabod's side chick Zoe is now no longer in the picture, And Abbie has her problems, but she always comes back to Ichabod. They have their souls embrace and all that stuff. They're witnesses together. And
They drink beer and play chess together at night.
Oh yes, a fake Sam Adams version. Love it.
that's.
Yes.
I mean, if that's not love, I don't know what is. So,
What was the breakfast they wanted to get?
do we think this will happen this season? Do you think we
think
will
at the
see?
end. I
Will we
think
see
at the
lips
end.
touch this season between Ichabod and Abbie?
I think that would be the finale. Like, I see it as, like, things getting so crazy and stressful in the finale that I see that as happening in the finale.
Yeah, and they need that time to sort of build it up because again, it just doesn't feel right at this point. They need time to like slowly build towards that if they're going to actually go through with it. I mean, Ichabod, like he had a good thing going with Zoe, but then he ghosted upon her.
Well, I wanna throw a prediction out here real quick. A big theme with the Hidden One and Pandora and their relationship is that they shared power, so that the Hidden One can do more. What if to save Abbie or to save Ichabod, they have to share power? Because the witnesses do have a certain power.
Oh,
We
that
just
would make
don't know.
sense.
But let's say Ichabod has to give up his witnessing power to save Abbie at some point, and then the difference they correspond with, you know how.
Or what if their
the Hidden One-
powers? What if their powers combined? They make Captain Planet.
That works too.
Oh,
I mean, do
I
the
like that
witnesses
idea.
really have power? They have a like predestination. They have a fate, but I don't know that they really have any specific powers. No.
I'm not sure.
so.
I'm not sure, but
They can like turn. They can make the incantations that turn the kindred into a living being, and the same thing with the.
Is that because they're
Rest.
witnesses?
See, I don't understand because this is one of the problems we've talked about before, where it's not clear like who has the power to be a witch, who has the power to just like do words have power? Do you just speak the incantations
What
and
about-
anyone can do it?
What
Yeah.
about even just power aside, life force, the power of your soul, whatever want to use, whatever term you want to describe it. It's a good balance when Pandora knows that Hidden One took all of her power and won't give any back, and to see if Abbie or Ichabod can give all of their power, and then the other one have the ability to give some of it back, to give the other half back. Like, I think that would be a good balance between the two couples, if we're going to consider Ichabod and Abbie a couple at this point, to show and to kind of change Pandora's mind a bit. I don't know. Throwing it out there, trying to make the fans happy by talking about this subject. I don't think it makes sense.
I would like. I guess I would also like Pandora and Abbie to be more proactive, to hold more of their own to the men in the show. I just felt.
I think Abbie does.
Yeah, she
and
does.
I think Pandora did, but when they brought in the Hidden One, everything for Pandora took a back seat. She had this cool beginning where she could do, like, she could change outfits with, like, just the blink of an eye, and she, what did they call that? I forget what
What are
they
we talking
call
about?
it. When you can pretend to be something else to somebody else.
Right. I just feel with Abbie's PTSD is draining her, bringing her, making her a little less active, not as equal as she has been.
I think that, honestly, I think that is just for this episode, really, because she had a very active role in the last episode.
That's true.
Where
That's
she
true.
found out the scabbard, where it goes, and got down the hole and asked Ichabod to, serve her soul on the way back. So she was really active in the last episode. I think they have to deal with the fact that if you're in a hellscape for a year and you're not eating, you're not sleeping, they had to do something to address that, because it's just weird if the character bounces back and is like, I feel great after being in that terrible place.
But what do you think about her, basically deciding to quit the FBI? She almost is acting like she's never going to go back.
She's going back. She told Reynolds she was coming back to her job at
Just
the end of the
like that.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
back.
I think too, stress can do weird things to people, and I think that she was thinking in her head she was going to have to decide between being loyal to Jenny, who, they had this whole side plot going where it was Jenny and Joe with that other dude who's coming back next episode. And
Nevins?
Reynolds knew that she knew about all that. So it's does she sever her relationship with Jenny or damage that? Or does she damage her work relationship? And at the time, she felt like she was having to choose between the two. But I think now that we have Agent Freckles, that she can send Agent Freckles out to do all that, like that hard work that might interfere with the Jenny Jo situation.
Yeah.
So I feel she has another person like in her camp, so to speak.
That's why it's good when you have more characters like in on the the world. Like after 3 seasons, like you need more people to be like aware that there are monsters running around.
Right.
Because like the game of like, oh, but I can't let my boss find out that we're investigating these crazy things. It's like, it's tired. And like even with like Zoe, like when she got kidnapped, there's part of me that was like sort of hoping that she was just going to be in on it for a little while, and maybe not like stay with us long term, but like I could see like, but that would have been fun, like Ichabod and her dating while she's like aware of like the insanity that is his life.
I think
like whatever your
also,
feelings about them long term, like that would have been fun.
I think what they're avoiding was like an early Lois and Clark thing where, I mean, once Lois was in on it, it made it a little bit easier to deal with. But when they were dating, it's like you saw what the problem was. The problem is when you have a secret identity or you have this secret like mystical side life going on and you're protecting that person from it, you can't be in a relationship. Like, you can't give yourself to that relationship.
Also, I think if they literally had Zoe come into the fold, it would be exactly the same as Joe and Jenny's relationship. So I don't think that's a good idea to have 2 things that
I don't
are exactly...
think it would be. I think my problem with... I like Zoe as a character, but I think the problem with Zoe as a character is she's like largely ineffectual in that area. Like she's not the kind of person who's going to step up to the plate and be like, I'm going to delve into research and do crime.
No, but that's what I think would have been interesting about keeping her around is that like, because all of these people have become like great investigators and warriors, and to have somebody who doesn't fit that role because it maybe is something that Ichabod either wants or needs in his life. Like, that would have been a different dynamic than we have with, like, Jenny and Joe off working together.
Can I just say something real quick, because we only have so much time left?
Yep.
I think we need to talk about the possibilities with Jenny and Joe talking about Jenny's father.
I'm so excited for that.
Because I really need to know...
Latte.
What I really want to know is what you guys think will happen with the father. Is he going to be involved? He had the relationship with their mother, which obviously was strained due to everything the girls went through and everything the mom went through.
They're building it up too much for him not to somehow be involved in a mystical capacity of some kind or another.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I have no idea what that would be.
And that Zippo lighter is going to come back
Yes,
in a very important way.
Yes.
I'm going to make a prediction about that.
All right.
I'm going to predict that the Hidden One takes on the face of their father.
Huh.
I'm going to predict that he takes their father's place.
To what end?
To get to the witnesses.
You mean to pretend to be her father?
Yeah, he's going to pretend to be her father. So we're seeing her father, but it's really the Hidden One. Whether it's, I don't think it's possession. I think it's just literally shape-shifting. And I think
that's what I was thinking of, because like Pandora could do that kind of like
she can
shape-shifting.
So obviously the Hidden One can do it.
Right.
So what I think is going to be the give that makes Jenny distrust him is the Hidden One, as her father, will see the lighter in her hands when she's playing with it and not recognize it, and she's going to catch on that he didn't recognize the lighter in her hands.
That's a good call.
That's
a good
awesome.
call. Yeah, I'm down with that.
The Hidden One's shown that he can't use excessive amounts of power against the witnesses. He can't blow them up through his puddle, so he probably has to get down and dirty, get into the ranks, figure this stuff out. And the father is the only character right now that the witnesses need to be involved in that's personality is an unknown.
Right.
So even if she met her father, she wouldn't be able to notice if anything was off because she doesn't know him.
That was the word I was looking for.
Glamour was the word Jackie was looking for. But I think that would be probably the smartest move. And then we can get 3 or 4 episodes or less, if you want, of Hidden One as their father.
Yeah.
Get to know your father. It's not actually your father. Sorry, I'm going to damage you uncontrollably.
That could be interesting. I'd be interested to see that. Running low on time. What do you guys think?
Symbol?
I was you're a step ahead of me, Jackie. Yeah. What do you guys think about the symbol that Abbie was carving or like writing in blood on her desk? It's the symbol from the wall on
the symbol for the Hidden One.
Is it the Hidden One symbol?
Yeah.
So is that supposed to show that he's like gaining control over her then?
I don't think he's gaining control over her, but I think it means that she's responding to the call.
oh, like she's a monster, or she's by the definition of set by the box.
She is a spirit that escaped from the underworld.
Oh.
Because through the well, she escaped. She wasn't set free, she escaped.
Yeah.
So literally, if you're going to say demons are things that escaped from other worlds and entered on Earth, then the call should affect her.
I can see that. I could see that.
Yeah. I buy
Because
it.
the only other thing I was thinking of is like some sort of possession. Because she seemed to be like really confused about the fact that she was writing it, you know?
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, yeah, it was clearly like one of those like I got a message in my head and I
Right.
just like I don't know what it means, but
Kind of similar to the
close
Jenny
encounter.
possession.
Yeah, it's the close
Yeah.
encounters style. Like I don't know, this means something.
Plus,
Yeah.
like,
This is
this
important.
warrants all of her PTSD, all of her flashbacks, all of her troubles.
Right.
They actually mean, they actually mean something. The only thing that really catches me is all of her, like, pop culture references, like calling Ichabod, like, Watson and stuff like that. I don't know if that's going to become more of a storyline, but at least her PTSD in that front, yeah, it's gravitating towards something.
I was just explaining in the chat that the personality for my theory, the personality of the father would still be the hidden one, but you wouldn't be seeing the actor for the hidden one. So you'd still get the actor to see.
Yes.
You'd
Yeah,
still
yeah,
have that
yeah.
actor to show his chops. be
Because
able
of
to
the
be,
glamour.
And they said, I don't know, I think it's been done before. And my response to that is, since when has this show done mostly original stuff? I mean, it's done a lot, but like, it's not shy from taking tropes and taking things from other stuff. I mean, Bride of Frankenstein, guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they could do it in a clever way. That would be
This show takes it's like any other show though that has like a sci-fi fantasy supernatural element. It's going to take from different pieces of culture and then mark it as its own.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff coming. I'm very excited to see what we get going forward. Before we get into predictions, I think it's time for a trip to Sleepyton Abbey. This week on Sleepyton Abbey, our heroes raise a woman from the dead specifically so that a monster can have sex with her, and among many other questionable decisions.
Most scandalous.
Scandalous indeed.
Ooh, hello, Governor.
I heard that Ichabod wanted to eat the early burr special at colonial times, but that special is just disgusting and it was most scandalous.
Most scandalous.
Mr. Brad Jenkins was on a date with Miss Olivia Pennington in their car when it seems he made a move too far for her liking. We took
And
care
then
of
he
it with
was
a halberd.
stabbed.
Most scandalous.
We killed him with a halberd, which is the style of the day.
I heard that Mr. Ichabod Crane was caught ghosting upon his mistress, Miss Zoe.
Oh, like Sean Penn. Most scandalous.
Most
I'm okay with
scandalous.
that.
Sean Penn, scandalous indeed. And that has been Sleepyton Abbey.
Monis is so confused.
Yeah.
Wow. Bravo, though. I would pay money to see that show. I
Well,
would pay
luckily,
good money.
I think a lot of
Nobody
people will
does
pay
have to
money,
pay money.
not to.
All they have to do is hit that thumbs up and leave us a comment rating on iTunes and comment after the video's done.
Yeah, thank you guys for your support. Be sure to go onto iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, hit us with the rating, subscribe to AFTERBUZZ TV on Twitter,
I have to
follow us
say-
in all different places, and it's all free because of your support.
By the way, I love that the fans in the chat roll are calling the plants that Ichabod gave Abbie a love fern. I just love a love fern. I love that.
You mean the cactus? The cactus is a love fern?
Yes. It's a
A
love fern.
prickly love. Love
Yes.
is so prickly. That's so deep, Ichabod.
Just makes me think of I think it was New Girl, where Nick takes cactus to mean like, oh, it's the death of our relationship.
Oh my god.
It's random reference. All right, I think it's time for some predictions before we get out of here.
Wait, we haven't done predictions.
Yeah, I think
Sorry, my
I'm
whole
done.
my whole episode is predictions.
We
I'm done
always.
with my predictions.
Yeah. I'm good.
All right, you're settled.
I'm good.
I feel like we made the predictions
Yeah.
that we're going to make, and I feel like the previews didn't really give us much.
No, what did we even see? Like I watched them before.
I
right
watched them and they
before,
were
I
so
was like,
forgettable. I was like, I
We
don't
saw
know
a
what to say.
monster and we saw Nevins is back.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Nevins is coming back. I mean, like, yeah, bring him back. That's cool.
I mean,
think
you know,
he'll probably die.
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
He's on it for.
I know what you were about to say.
He's on it for a second episode. I can't.
I couldn't give two
if
of
he
them.
if he looks
Yeah.
like he's gonna serve any purpose, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Joe's going to become a professional glass harmonica player.
Yeah.
He already is.
I love
What
that
was that?
I love that it was a lullaby that you
Yeah,
had to like.
and
Yeah.
right then he just knew how to do that.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you something.
'cause
You're
Joe's
not
a
going to
pro.
like it, Zach.
Uh-oh.
I think in the next 2 episodes, Holly's going to come back.
And they're gonna stab him in the face.
and then they're going to blow him up at the end.
I mean, that wouldn't be that bad.
But then he'll be back. And Frankenstein won't.
Don't bring
What-
kill him. Bring
can
him
I-
back if you're gonna kill him, but don't bring him
What
back.
was
Just
what
bring
was
him
our
back.
ship name for Frankenstein? I can't remember. We had Jacuqe Borowski, but that didn't include Franklinstein. It could
Did
have.
we have a ship name for Franklinstein?
Jacuqe Borowski.
If you know our ship name,
Let's just
for
make it an
Frankenstein.
orgy in that ship.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here at AfterBuzz TV for the Sleepy Hollow After Show. We'll be back again next Sunday night at 5 p.m. Until then, Stephen Lemieux, where can everyone find you?
You guys find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHENLEMIUX, and check out my other network, the Popcorn Talk Network, for all your movie discussion needs, whether it's Marvel, Jedi, DC, or otherwise. Check it out at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network and follow it on Twitter at the Popcorn Talk. Jackie.
You can find me on my website 123jackieb.com. That's where my Twitter, my Instagram, everything, blog, whatever.
Ooh, sorry. Really cool prediction from Grain Mail. I was hoping the Hidden One summoning demons would trigger the Wendigo and Joe again. Yeah, that's
Wendigo
good.
Joe!
That's good.
Hashtag Wendigo Joe.
Monis, where can we find you?
You can find me on my website, restaurantfiction.com, where we review every single restaurant, bar, and club featured in TV and film. Please check that out, and you'll get all my information.
Cool. And you guys find me on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson, and a whole bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, including Grimm coming up next. Very exciting episode. We're going to get into it then. Guys, I'm Zach Wilson. Thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Good night, sleepyheads.
No scandalous.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.